Tokotas podcast, December 21st. This is our end of the year. Oh, I just started this and now I'm going to cough. I'm going to go away from the microphone and give you the done.
Suffering. Happy solstice, everyone.
Oh, is it solstice?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Why do you think snowfall ends when it does?
Right, because you actually pay attention to all of that. But all you told me is that my raffle prizes need to be +1 because it's solstice.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, fair enough. Hey, everyone. This is our end of the year December podcast. Last year, we said we're going to try and have a podcast every month, and that just straight up did not happen, which is fine. We're half of us, a fair chunk of us, are busy adults. So we did it as we felt we needed to. We had a couple more come TokoCon, and as other things were coming out, but we did okay.
Yeah, the gardening mini podcast definitely helped. Also, all your taming stream.
Yeah. So we did have more interactivity this year, which is something we wanted, but, just do it. Make them suffer. Make them suffer with your crinkly paper and my super good microphone.
I just wanted a cookie.
Yep. I did the smart thing and opened my soda before it started, and then done brought crinkly cookie paper anyway. So I was like, never mind. They're getting their ASMR part of this podcast anyway. So
It's tradition.
It kind of is. Oh, and a fair warning. Obviously, it's Saturday, so my child is around. He will come through. You will hear him. There is no way he will entertain himself for 2 hours. He will come and ask for something. So it will be what it will be. All right. Let's move on to all of the Toko things. So firstly, thanks everybody for an awesome 2025 or 2024. It's 2024. We're going into an awesome 2025. I know dates. And I've had a great year. I don't know about everybody else in Tokos. I still didn't breed my Taylor Tackmaster Wise, but I'm only like 400 slots into that. That's an exaggeration. It's only 300.
You've got a new Geno. That's going to make this possible with the power of unique heritage.
Yeah, with the power of unique heritage. Definitely worth giving up a crafted genie for that. All of this going on this year. In general, I think things have been a pretty good vibe throughout the year. I don't think we've had any things we need to address. We didn't have our, medic change snafu this year, or...
Why do I not yet have a 100% lilac black Barbary?
I don't know. You're in charge of content, so you tell me.
Oh, I can't make this joke with you, crap.
No, you're in charge of content. You have been for years. So, how it goes. And for this podcast, we are going to do some end-of-the-year updates, talk about what we promised we'd do at TokoCon, and then come forward. We'll talk about the status of there will not be a physical TokoCon next year, but we'll talk about that as well. And I have a whole agenda, so I'm just going to kick off and get moving because you will have questions. There will be things to do. Oh, sisters, don't do this.
Was it starting to ping?
No, it's GameStop. You may have to go to the door at some point. I'm going to hand this to you. Okay. Christmas shopping. It's never done. All right. So let's start with some general updates. I warned everybody that we would be doing a massive PHP update, which meant nothing to the vast majority of you, which is fine. Totally fine. PHP is the language that we were running on.
Click here to track. Click where to track.
It's GameStop. I don't know what you expected. So the system's one of its underlying languages, because we had an amalgamation like a Frankenstein monster, is PHP. We built our site in 2018. We're just slightly out of date. And NoDaddy was like, hey, you have to start paying us money to remain on this really old version of PHP so that we will pay people to support it. And I went, yeah, that's fair. So we held off until December. We paid NoDaddy for the rest of the year. And surprisingly, we did the update. And I'm sure there are still a handful of little bugs out there. Some people posted, hey, like HP's got an issue. And I was like, oh, yeah, I see what it is. And we handled that. But we got over the hump of it in an evening. I think we did it on, what day did I do this? Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night we kicked it off.
Wednesday.
Was what? No, it wasn't. It was Tuesday.
I've got to go look now.
Because I gave them an extra day because I told them I was going to do it on Monday. I told the admins I was going to do it on Monday. And then we did it on Tuesday. It went pretty smoothly. I don't think we've got any major blow-ups. We may still have some bugs. We have a channel. These are for things when you find those random dead pages or things that suddenly stopped loading that normally load. Just come, drop me a link. I can usually solve all of them within a couple minutes of finding it. It's just little syntax changes. Syntax being like, it used to be written ABC. Now it's AB3, right? So that's just little fixes we got to do. But our PHP change has been done. It is for the health of our site. It is for the security of our site. And yay, everybody be happy about that. That for once it wasn't a huge ordeal with No Daddy. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I was like, I just jinxed myself. Secondly, many things about TCA, but this is general updates. TCA Wilds in January are going to be on Tokotas again. We have fully transitioned the wild part of TCA onto Tokotas, and we'll be sticking with it going forward. So expect wilds. Additionally, expect me to appear in Super Cool Artists in a little bit, looking for a guest artist. That means I am looking for our best and brightest, most dedicated, well-trained, hardworking design artists to make me a ridiculous Tokota for January.
2025 Sycamore.
Yeah, we're going to have our 2025 Sycamore. I don't know their name yet. I'll know it when I see it.
We'll stick with trees again.
Maybe we'll stick with trees. It does seem to be a theme. So, it'll be happening. Obviously, there were some bugs in the TCA rehome, and I got pulled on other things. They were visual bugs. We have the list of who's actually signed in and who is not. Don't fret yourself about it. I'm going to roll it. I just got pulled in 1,000 other things. This PHP update, the gardening stuff, and everything else that was going on. It will be rolled before January, or at least by January open. I've got your entries. Don't fret about it. All right, so that's there. Oh, is Anthology on here somewhere, specifically?
It's right there under your next bullet point.
Is it?
Why does it say TCA Anthology? That's not correct.
That's where I got confused because I saw TCA. Okay. Status checks. Oh, well, I did say that November. Wow, you thought I was following your agenda
I did.
this whole time.
I did.
You really did.
What a fool I am.
You are, because I was making that up as I went, and then I went back to your agenda. Oh, that sounds way more ominous on a podcast. Agenda. And it's not just bullet points of things I need to remember to talk about. The anthology prizes are finally out. Thank you to Burke this morning. Oh, which reminds me, backtrack a little bit. Ooh, the ADHD is real today.
Yeah, it is. Oh my God.
Backtrack to PHP. I want to shout out to Alcestia, Fleet, and Corvidae. That transition was so smooth because the three of them busted ass to go through as many pages on the site as possible and find things that night. Like, if I was doing it on my own, we wouldn't have found as many pages. So, like, the three of them, other people came in with an error. Yes, you came through a couple days later. I'm not discounting you. That night, those three really pulled through, and it was good. So,
they kept your momentum going in the immediate aftermath of switching.
Exactly. I could focus on fixing, because we did fix like 300 or so bugs. It sounds worse than it was. They were all the same bug. So it was a Control F, Control C, Control F, whatever. You know what I mean. And then push the site up. So it sounds worse than it was. But they kept me moving that entire time because I could focus on bugs while they focused on pages. Yeah. And now back to the anthology. Thank you to Burke for putting the prizes out today. I appreciate you. That being said, the anthology prizes are out. We received 8 stories.
I'm going to double check my list now. I wasn't prepared for this.
I believe it was about 8 stories.
Yes.
So we received 8 stories plus the 9 from me and Dunn, which brings us up to 9. Barring anything that just isn't going to be able to be brought into anthology condition in a reasonable amount of time, it's likely these will all be in the anthology. But, I'll keep you updated on that. We'll be paying more attention to that in later January. We're just not rushing it. There's no need for us to rush through the anthology to do another one next year. We'll just get to it when we get to it. So you'll see updates about that as we're going. And then finally, of things that are in a weird spot. Vernma. So Vernma was one of the 3 big promises I made in May for TokoCon. 2 of them are in a good spot. Vernma is not, and it's not like it's on me. That's fully on me. I'm on 100 other things, and I have a bunch of very sweet admins who keep offering to come in and write and do anything that I need, but I have to stop and give them direction. They can't just run. I do have the very basic. I've pulled the code. I've started it. I've picked the color scheme. I've got the intro page in place to get you into the adventure, and I'm starting already on the code, but I just don't see it feasibly being done for January Open. That's the reality, because I have to make a choice between that and on-site trackers. And I feel like on-site trackers are going to benefit the most amount of people. Gardening was the thing everybody really wanted, which I don't blame you. So it took priority. Trackers has come second, and trackers is moving along. I don't have big bugs with this that are happening, big errors. It's just time. There's only so much of it, and it's the holiday season. So Vernma came one below that. I have the beginnings of it, but it's just not going to be there for January Open. I'm sorry. I'm not going to pick up any other projects, though, barring what I did with Taming. It's Taming's fault. Okay, it's Taming's fault.
No. It's not Taming's fault. It's DA's fault.
Okay, it's DA's fault for not letting me copy and paste correctly. That then I built a taming engine that took the time I was supposed to be spending on Vernma. Okay?
And then your needy TCA co-head is like, but you have to rehome and outpost now.
Yeah, so that's where the time went. I will not pick up any more projects until these 3 are done, though. So Vernma is next on my to-do list once my on-site trackers are in a safe, or not a safe, in a stable enough place for us to be doing a beta. So before I move on to anything else, because we'll talk about gardening next, questions on anything I have just rambled at you about? Rambling.
I'm off to the oh, that's right. Anybody who's new, make sure to put them in Discord, because that's easier to keep track of than Twitch.
Exactly. And everyone can get back to them later, because Twitch will disappear in 2 weeks.
Nobody's typing so far.
Okay. Well, you know me.
Wait, there is the typing.
Oh. Man, I was about to be conceited for a moment, and then it caught me. So glad I didn't finish the sentence. Also, Dunn finished the PowerPoint. Okay. Dunn gave me the slides for my podcast. And then there's a PowerPoint. Yes, I have a PowerPoint. I know. And while she was finishing the PowerPoint, I went back and added more things to her slides. She doesn't know yet.
But no, those slides were done. We stayed up late to finish those slides. What did you do to them?
You're going to find out with everybody else. It's too late. They're loaded. You can't change them now. You would have to tackle through me in a microphone.
That seems a little dramatic.
Exactly why I know I'm going to get away with it now.
What is Vernma?
Oh, okay. Hi, new people. So 3 years? 4. Apparently 4 years ago. I had this great idea. Let me be clear. I'm not an event admin. I had this great idea that we would run this big event called World Tour, where we would expand our map. We had this cute little map. I want to say Kep did it. And I was like, you know what? We can have more. We don't have to just be in Alaska. This can be its own big world. Tokotane can be bigger. So we worked with an artist. We got this whole beautiful, absolutely beautiful map commissioned by a legit fantasy map artist. And we named things. We went through the process. Lots of admins were involved. And
lots of players were involved with the raffles.
Oh, yeah. They did that, too. And we created a big world. And we decided we would do an event to roll those regions out. And we did do Narnvok, Aloric, Makarok, Fospir pretty well. We got them out. But then we kind of lost steam around Vernma. Other things were more important. So Vernma is the next region of Tokotane that will unlock. It's a savanna. Thank you. It is. I knew it was a savanna, but I almost said a wetlands. It's a savanna, and it will just. It was supposed to be the home of Tokaras, but obviously we gave you Tokaras a while ago.
So this story is probably going to seem not as fun.
Well, I'm going to edit it to make it make more sense.
Okay.
Okay. We have to roll with the reality of what we have right now. So we'll be doing that. This will be the introduction of the bad guy for PB as well.
Yeah. Have people put that together yet?
Well, they just did if they hadn't.
Oh, fair enough.
It wasn't very complicated. Didn't hide it very well.
How dare you? Guy and Max are national treasures.
Yeah, Guy and Max are national treasures. I know, everybody loves them. But if you pay attention, that monkey is tied to that man. It can't run away. So, yeah, we got bad guys. So that'll be Vernma. And I have in my head how the gameplay will work for the adventure. I just need to finish coding it. It's not even particularly difficult. I just need it to be the top of my priority list.
And time.
Which
you do have in the next week.
I do have in the next week. I don't go back to work until January 2nd. And I told all my coworkers, I was like, if you don't need me, well, if you need me, you better talk to me today. Otherwise, I'm not going to see your face. I'm not going to speak to you or answer my phone until January 2nd, unless the sky is falling. And you're going to have to put a really convincing text message to me about why the sky is falling. And they were all like, yeah, we're not going to call you. It's fine. And I was like, I've trained you all well. Goodbye. So, yeah, I do have some time coming up. But Verma is the next region. It is a savanna. And it will come with, for people who don't know, there will be a minor deity design contest. These are brilliant. There will be a canon contest where you can make locations and other things like that. We take them. Sometimes we smash them together. Sometimes we take just a little bit of what you did. The chance that your entry comes to us and is untouched is very minor. It does not happen. And we build lots of new canon locations, which then become backgrounds and places that you can use for your rights.
Every region comes with unlocks, including new backgrounds. We've done new totems. We've done new traits, new names, new markings, all that kind of jazz before.
Exactly. So they usually come with 2, if not 3. 3. I may have to move the unlock bars up onto Tokotas because
we can't add
DA.
We can't add journal skins at all anymore.
Yeah. So we may have to move more stuff up onto Tokotas, which I'll need to deal with when we do a release. So those will come with it as well, for anyone who didn't know what World Tour is. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Let's move on to gardening. All right. Why are you telling me the size of things? Okay, there we go. So, gardening. We had what I was calling the messy alpha, but honestly, it could have been more messy. Thank you to everyone who showed up to do the alpha. I know some people wanted to help, but you didn't have bonded tokos. My dudes, I've been telling you for a year you needed bonded tokos to garden. All right? For a year.
But for people who are freshly coming back into this, understandable.
Understandable. You need a bonded toko to garden. Okay, just at least one. But we had a messy gardening alpha. It went really well, actually. We worked through a whole bunch of different bugs.
I'm being too quiet. Leaning forward. Sorry. Continue.
All right. So we had our alpha. It went really well. We solved a bunch of bugs in the system. We cleaned up some mechanics. A lot of stuff held as we expected it would hold. The events didn't seem to be too horrific on people. The healing events that Dunn added at the last minute had a positive effect. I wasn't for it. She was like, no, we need positive ones. And she made a whole slew of them, went fine, and I wired them in. And then it turns out that people like them, so fair enough. You know, the little prizes seemed okay. We didn't get a lot of feedback on the resource intake, but most of the people who were doing this had TT to burn. They could get through. And those who didn't, other people helped them out, which I appreciate. So we will still be looking at that. And because it was only 2 weeks, we didn't get a great look at the long-term gameplay. But what we did get out of it is everyone doing the alpha believed it was stable enough we could move to an open beta. So in January, we will have an open beta. You still need a bonded toko, but you don't have to sign the disclosure to get in that says this is going to be rough. We're actually expecting it to be extremely stable now. We know bugs will still pop up. It happens. But we will be expecting to let everybody into the system, to let everyone start gardening, and go from there. There's been a slight tweak to some numbers that happened mid because we didn't get a great look at long-term gameplay, which we never expected to. It was only 2 weeks. We do know that more tweaks may be coming in the beta. The beta is going to be 3 months, so January through the end of March. And during that beta time, I am reserving the right to change numbers as we go. Obviously, I will inform you all that I have changed numbers.
It's unlikely that the things that we lowered to 25 are going back up at all.
No, they're not. I'm very happy with them at 25, actually. But once we see the effects of being able to level up your abilities or your skills, which should be more prevalent in a 3-month beta than a 2-week alpha, I'll determine if the step-ups are too high, too low, and we'll go from there. So everything will just retroactively happen to your thing. Let me think. Is there any other big thing about gardening?
We will have guides.
Yes.
Probably based on the work Lovely Fleet did.
Yes, that was a wonderful guide. It had basically everything in it. So we're probably going to take that, move it over to Tokopedia. We'll put a couple links so you can find it on the gardening page and go from there. Is there any questions around gardening that anybody wants to bring up? If you haven't seen it, we have the 3 mini podcasts. Most of the information in that holds true. I did warn you there was arbitrary numbers there, so obviously the new numbers that'll be on the Tokopedia pages will be what's happening. And I will address starting health in a moment. I'm just letting everybody take a moment and see if there's anyone typing questions.
Tippy type. Apparently somebody made it through the whole alpha with no events happening.
It's possible with one plot. So an event is only a 10% chance at happening, but it's 10% per plot. So it's completely possible to go 14 days without rolling that 10. But when you have 9 plots rolling every day, you're going to see more and more events. Also, you don't get events on empty plots, plowed plots, or ready to harvest plots. So it only happens during the grow time. And that grow time is, for the alpha, the grow time was 3 days on every plant, 4 plus the day you planted it. In the beta, everything will have its short, medium, and long, which will have a different effect on gameplay.
Another thing for beta. So everything will have its full grow time, and we will have more than just the pure random seed.
Yes. We will have more than just the pure random seed. Dunn told me in advance what she wanted for the seeds. So we already built into the seed allocation system the ability to filter by like rarity and by category and I think by region and season. So we can do lots of different filters and use that to determine and pull just specific seeds. So you could have a random mushroom seed, right? So we will have those. We planned for that in advance. For the alpha, it didn't make sense to do anything more than absolute random with short grow time. But everything will have its appropriate grow time in beta. Everything that happened in the alpha will be wiped out. You get to keep your items. Anything you harvested, glorious, enjoy. Otherwise, everything is getting wiped out. It just kind of feels fair for the people who had to sit it out for the beta. So,
I think that's... Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Buzz, so I assume.
Yes. So in the beta, at the end of the beta, we will not be wiping anything out. You will not lose 3 months of progress in your gardening system. The people who joined the alpha knew they were losing 2 weeks. So I don't feel too bad about it. Oh yeah, there are some people who failed. Okay, so let me think. We might have some gardening questions. Dunn will tell me when she comes back in a moment. So while she's gone, let me show you one of my new slides. All right, so we got new gardening stuff coming. I'm not supposed to tell you about this right now, but I'm going to tell you anyway. First off, we have this. Somebody made this to be an abandoned pup, and it was too good. I was like, this is too good to be abandoned pup art, so it became a companion. So now we have this thing called the Muddy Puppy. It might get a different name. Hi, you.
Oh, I see you've moved on to this now.
I did. I added the companion onto it, BTW. Yeah.
Also, you do have questions in this channel.
Oh, perfect. I was waiting for you to come back. You read them to me. But also, you're supposed to speak up.
I did see them in Discord. I am speaking up. I'm so sorry. I only go so loud.
Only so loud.
What was I saying?
I'm going to finish what I'm saying, and then I'll read your questions. So we're adding this companion. I am still a little working on how you interact with it, but it'll bring back dirt. Lots and lots of dirt.
Actually, your guys' input on where you'd like it to bring dirt back would be great.
Exactly.
Activities is easy, but...
You know, it's activities.
What if you want it to... You use it in quests? Or TCA stuff?
Exactly, but it'll bring back dirt for people. And then as you can see, I have new items that are dropping down. We have a whole slew of new legendary drinks coming, and these will be used to create those. We're going to have more than just our coffees. We'll have our teas and our cocos and a chai.
Yes, we're getting another rare plant for every family to even out the counts so I can actually do seed allocation. I needed it to be even numbers.
Yep. Alrighty. What was that question?
With the new trait, I'm presuming the bonding trait. Will it impact the energy or something if it spoils too much? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm pretty sure that's what we were looking at.
Yes. As I've said before, the first bonus that I'm going to add to gardening will be bonding, which makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Oh, what is up? I haven't been coughing at all. So the first thing we're going to add is the bonding trait, the tiered one. Oh, there's a lot of back and forth here. We've had conversations of, does it take energy off of everything that you do? Does it take energy off of some things you do? Does it make it so you don't fatigue as fast? We're running along that lane. It's going to be something in that vein. I just don't want it to be too powerful, because when you get to that far off longevity land, someone who's getting a -5 to every action that they do is exceptionally powerful. Because at that point, you're going to have, like, my assumption is, the hardcore gardeners, yeah, I know how weird that sounds, will have 3, at least tier 1 tokos, not 3, tier 3 tokos that have this up. And that -5 will matter a lot when you're dealing with 9 plots. So I don't want them to have too much of an advantage over other people who don't have, like, a tier 3 bonder. It's a balancing game, but it's going to be something in the land of energy. I just need to figure out what's the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Is it possible to save a plant after neglecting it? When I was doing the beta, I neglected a plant for like 3 days, came back to it, but it seemed that I couldn't bring the plant back to a harvestable state, lost health due to decay, and gained health by watering. But I feel like it was stagnant.
So you might recall a raffle that I did that was kind of really a vote where I said pros and cons. So the pros and cons of freezing a plant at harvest. One of the pros of freezing a plant at harvest is it couldn't take any more natural decay. Didn't matter if you came back 3 months from now, it would still be in that harvestable state. You wouldn't wither. Whereas plants before they reached harvestable state could wither if you ignored them for a very long period of time. And one of the cons was that you wouldn't be able to do anything about the plant's health once you hit harvestable. So I am not planning any sort of change to that. It was a pro and con system. Here's the pros, here's the cons. It was not you get the best of every world. So as of right now, no. If your plant has less than 20 health when it hits harvest, you have the fail chance. Now, keep in mind, your harvesting skill does play into your ability to save those plants. So the more plants that you harvest, the more likely you are to succeed at that chance. Also, TB is getting a bonus to it. So if you're in the TB faction, then that's where your bonus is going as well. So you will get better at saving those plants over time. And I'm sure at some point in time, I will have either items or traits that go on the Toko that increase your ability to save those plants as well. So rather than allow you to bring it above 20, I will just make it less likely that you fail on your harvest. If you're below 20. Keep in mind, you only roll this if you're below 20 health. Does that make sense? Everybody understand that? Did I answer the question?
Why are you looking at me?
Because I'm looking at you to tell me if I answered the question.
Yeah, I think you answered the question.
Okay, perfect. So.
Also, yes, that is black truffle up in the corner from Tally, and then cassava from Avec.
Who did the Muddy Puppy again?
Okapi.
It was Okapi. It was too good to use as the abandoned pup, so Muddy Puppy it is. All right. I think that's everything in gardening. Expect the beta to open with group open in January. And hopefully we'll have the guides up at that point as well. I'll find someone of my guide gremlins who can sit and take Fleet's document and turn it into Tokopedia pages.
Me. You mean me while I'm sitting in the office next week.
Oh, well, that's true. You're going to be stuck in the office. I guess I could make you do that. Alrighty. So, trackers. On-site trackers. And you're like, Jill, why are you making that weird laughter? You just said it was working. The key word there is was. So, I had some really pie-in-the-sky dream this morning. I got up super early to finish building the tracker page so I could show it all to you what your roles would look like, and then I broke it. I don't know what I did yet. I am still debugging it. Debugging is one of my favorite sayings. Debugging code is being both the detective and the murderer in a crime you committed. And right now I am the detective who has viciously murdered this page. And I don't know what I've done. So I will provide you with screenshots in this coming week of what it looks like. Spoilers galore. But I don't have them for the podcast, which is actually why you got to see this dog ahead of time, as my apology for not having screenshots of what trackers were going to look like. But let me talk about them, and you can ask me questions. So in...
I'm going to go check on the munchkin.
Thank you. In January, I have every intention, and I'm still green-lighted to do that despite my setback today. That's what I get for 5 a.m. code. I'm not an early morning person. Despite my setback today, I have every intention that with January open, I am going to do a small closed alpha on activities trackers. Not CEs yet, just activity trackers. I'm going to find a small group, possibly admins and any player I know who's super active in activities, to ask them to try this system out. So they'll get on, and what it basically is every role that your Toko gets, for the time being, they'll get posted on your journal like normal, but additionally we'll post them onto your Toko on Kotne. And it will have like all the items that you roll, the status, the activity, was it success or failure, and that will also be wired in to tell your Toko, oh yeah, you have this many successes. You can't lose roles that are on Kotne because we're not DA. And I'm going to do this. You'll go to the page and you'll be able to see all of your roles. You'll be able to filter them by activity. When a role gets rolled, whoever the owner of the Toko is set as the owner of the role. So even if you say, welcome back after that stressful time of getting us back and functional again. So we talked about gardening. I think we ended that conversation. Now we're on trackers, and I was explaining to you all that I don't have screenshots to show you because at 5 o'clock in the morning, I woke up, decided I would totally be able to finish this page so that we could all enjoy it and you could see how cool it was going to look, and then I broke it. And I broke it bad. And I also made a funny comment that's not going to be funny the second time around, especially for people who kind of heard it the first time, about how debugging is being both the detective and the murderer in the same crime. So right now I'm in detective mode for the page that I have brutally murdered. I don't have anything to show you. I promise you it's there. There are database tables and everything. It's happening. It's just nothing to visibly show you at this moment in time. So I will explain what it's going to look like and how it works.
Which is kind of fun since we've lost our visuals.
Yep. Turns out I could have gotten away with it after all, but I fessed up already, and half of you heard me, so there's no way I'd get away with it over here pretending it didn't happen. So, basically how this is going to work is your trackers are actually on your Tokotas. And every time you get a roll, it will create an entry on your Dakota, much like how you see like the taming entries. There's just got this little page. These ones will be paginated tables, and I'll have some sort of searching capability. We'll figure it out. But it'll all go onto your Toko, and then the searching capability will allow you to filter by specific activity and all of that, so everybody can get what they want out of it. I don't know about doing 5 different pages when I could just do a search filter for you. And on there, it'll say the Tokota, success, failure. It'll have the text, the text from the roll on there as well. I'm still a little bit back and forth about exactly how to look. That's one of the questions I have for you all. And it'll say if it's been redeemed or unredeemed. It will basically be your roll in an unlosable status on Tokode. This is one of those things that needs to get alpha/beta. And I'm going to do a very small closed alpha in January because it will be ready in January. But given how much data it could pour into the system, I don't want it to pour in bad data. I know there's going to be API issues up the wazoo here, parsing issues, display issues, because I'm kind of like creating an amalgamation of the TT calculator and a view page together with a search screen. So I expect there to be some issues there. So I'm going to do a really small closed alpha with some active activity people. Okay. That's the plan. On that one, let me think. Was there anything else I wanted to say that? Oh, right. And I just want to assure everybody this is one of the first steps towards streamlining certain things like REs, banking, etc. Some admins just clutch their pearls in fear. There's no point. We'd never fire an admin over their work getting easier. Absolute worst case, you would move to another department. That's not how we roll. Pun probably intended.
There's always work to be done.
There's always
this list never ends.
Exactly. So just because we will be making it so there is less work in your department churning through threads doesn't mean you're going anywhere. All right? So
Haru will be an excellent stress test.
Yes, Haru will be a wonderful stress test on this system. But that's the goal. They're looking good. They're showing up. And the part I was talking about for owners, when an activity roll is rolled, it's assigned to the person who currently owns the Tokotas. Owns the Tokota. So when the Tokota gets transferred, let's say you rolled a bunch of activities and then you sold it to someone, traded it to someone, gifted it to someone, those rolls still belong to you. You'll still be able to redeem them. Your name is on them. They stay on the Tokos tracker so the other person gets the successes, but you're going to be the only one allowed to redeem them, and vice versa. All right, but this is one of those steps. Taming actually helped us get towards this. Taming was a spiteful little thing I did at DA, and then I went, oh my gosh, this solves some tracker issues. And so you'll be seeing images if we can make it happen too. Obviously, if someone has their image private, we can't show it, and we're not encouraging you to turn them public just because you want to see them on Tokone. You do you on that. We have no issue.
I don't think so like for literature, we can do an islit toggle, so we show the book, which looks nicer.
Exactly.
I guess we could do an is private on DA toggle and have some kind of other placeholder image.
That's true.
That way, because I know some people, and I don't blame you, have your galleries private because fuck AI scrapers.
Yeah, no, I understand. I said we're not telling you have to change anything about your privacy settings to accommodate us. That's not how this works. So that's where we stand on trackers.
Maybe our paints would work for that.
Maybe our paints would work, and then just a link back.
Yeah.
Like, I'll figure it out. I've defeated their OEmbed multiple times before.
We need to actually test their OEmbed with that new multi-image nonsense.
Oh, don't get me started. They forgot about it when they did that change to how their URLs worked. And I don't expect they've remembered it for this multi-image. And part of me doesn't want to go over to DA and be like, hey guys, what are you doing about this? Because they're like, how dare you claim that we're not working? I'm like, that's not what I said. I'm just asking when I can expect a fix. Oh, okay. You're just going to shut it all down now?
You mean given that we're 2 months into waiting to be like, how many admins can we have per role in a group? You don't actually have it documented anywhere.
Right? But they're not going to answer that question either for some reason. So we're working on it. And I will January open, you will see me scouting around for a couple people to do this alpha, but we're doing good there. Like, that's on track. It's happening. Hopefully by mid-year, we'll have everybody over for activities and CEs. I'm going to pull one of the things of our systems on our list up here to talk about it, because we're talking about moving the activities and the CEs over there.
Oh, okay.
So,
do you just want me to move that entire section up here?
Maybe.
I thought it was going to be your stuff to talk about during the raffle, but I suppose we can.
Well, I'll leave everything else down there. I'll just pull FP up here.
Okay.
So, if you hadn't heard, our FP, I don't want to use a crappy title. What would we call disc? The
fanciest FP fanatic? No, that's not right.
I was going to say the monarch of FP. So disc has stepped down.
We're all very sad.
We are sad. Another one of our longtime pillars has stepped down. In the wake of disc stepping down, and before she did, she has appointed a new FP person, and that is Ami. So Ami and I have been in contact because we've known Ami's going to be in charge of this. Disc waited until December before she stepped down. But we've known for months that Ami would be taking over this. So thank you, Disc, for hanging out as long as you did so that we could have a nice, seamless December transition. But Ami and I have been in contact, and we've been talking about the future of FP. It's one of those things that's always been like bubbling back to the top of the list. So I think it was back in August, Ami and I started our conversation about when would be the best time to transition from one system to the next. And December seemed like a good time to do it. So sadly, we haven't finalized our plan. It's a little delayed. But what we're thinking of doing is streamlining or automating the correct way.
I think streamlining is the more correct, because we can't fully automate FP as it stands right now.
No, we can't fully automate FP as it stands. But we are going to streamline ways for you to get FP into your system. We're talking about it becoming bankable to a degree. There's tons of considerations. The reasons we haven't done this before are you can't use FP after the round closes. That's just how it works. And we don't want someone to hoard FP for 6 months to win a round. Like, you use it or you lose it. It's always been like that, which makes it a little tricky for banking. In the last year, we have found ways to handle those situations where we can clear FP out of a bank, because we changed how our inventory system worked a couple years ago, and other updates that we've made, we now have ways to do that. So one problem solved. But we also don't want to create significant amount of works on like rights, AOAs, things of that nature. HU in general, they hand out FP, and we don't want to create another step in their process.
They already have to update your image, edit the toko, go over there.
We're going to be working on ways of streamlining them this year as well. I know they need it, and Cray will be sitting there cussing me out quietly because she wants me to touch DC, and I hear her, but my brain goes where it goes. So we'll be looking for ways to bank FP without creating significant amount of work, while still keeping it in the form of like use it or lose it. But we will be automating / streamlining various parts of faction points for just the faction point turn-in. We're not looking to redo any of the tiers or any of the bonuses. They've honestly been golden. Okay, that's not fair. It's going to come up. People are going to be like, is there going to be a faction change for gardening? I don't know yet. I don't know the answer to that. That's super far down my list of things to do for gardening. So I'll answer that quickly, but do expect some changes coming to FP and how you bank it, turn it in the coming year. And with that in mind, faction reset in January. For everyone who's like, what does that mean? It means in January, we clear out all of the factions. Everybody gets thrown into neutral, and you get one free switch to go to whichever faction that you want. We do this so that there's not a bunch of people who joined us 5 years ago but aren't playing, sitting there bloating your faction numbers for various things that we do with factions throughout the year. So,
speaking of, go ahead, continue.
Yeah. So everybody gets one free switch in January. I'll probably clear everyone on like January 1st, and then you'll be able to go in and pick a faction. We will do so many reminders during the month. You will have your faction probably before open. All right, and speaking of,
We got a suggestion in the suggestion box about round fatigue.
Yeah.
You responded to this.
Did I?
Yeah. Fatigue from winning a round is likely going to increase slightly next year, just to balance it out. Our waiting rules seem to be holding, but we think we need to increase our
fatigue.
And
that's because some factions still keep somehow pushing through their fatigue.
Yep.
Looking at you, TB.
I don't know. LK's also done it.
And LK, yeah. Them small factions pushing through that fatigue real hard. So the fatigue may need to get a little stronger to keep things simple enough for us. Yep. And we'll do it on January 1st so that it shouldn't interfere with any of your bonuses by the time the group opens. All right. So that is trackers and a little warning about factions, because obviously banking FP through CEs and activities will be the first things that move over when we start enacting these faction changes in the next year. Not changing the factions, just changing how faction points get stored and turned in. Hopefully make it easier on everybody. All right. Anyone type in questions for me?
You have a question about trackers.
Oh, yeah, bring it on.
Will there be one general hub for all unredeemed activities as well, or will they solely be on the different Toko pages?
So my thought process is there will be the tracker on your Toko that is these activity roles belong to this Toko. And then over on your profile, because you know what I'm talking about, Tokos all live under that import URL and profiles live under that profile URL. Over on that side, I think you're going to have like a role hub that just pulls you all of your roles regardless of which Toko they're on. So when you view your Toko, it's everything associated to your Toko. And when you go to like your role hub, your activity hub, I don't know what it's called yet.
I'll come up with a cool name.
Yeah, on the other side, it'll be all of your roles or activities or whatever they are that need to be redeemed or unredeemed. Kind of like, you know, use slot tracker where you can like check it and be like, only show me my unused ones. That there will be some function of that over there as well. I haven't started that page yet. I was just working on the Toko page, but that is on my list. So minimum value project and VP here will have both of those pages functional. Do not expect any sort of banking. One moment, everybody. Me right now because I told him we would go to the park for community day, which we will.
It's not till 2.
But it's not till 2, and Twitch is obviously thrown a delay in this podcast in general. So all is good. He's just being like, oh, anything that I could possibly be doing in the area that your microphone will pick it up? Yeah, let me do that, Mom.
Oh, yes, it's double community day this weekend. Today they're bringing back half of the Pokemon that they've been community day this year. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's the other half.
Exactly. So it's big community day, meaning, of course, we're very excited about it. And we're going to finish those stupid Poplio quests.
Yes, we are.
Is that today or tomorrow?
I'll find out.
Yeah, find out.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Good luck with that. Take us on the road.
Get out of my brain.
Yeah. All right. So, where was I at? What was I doing? I had to pop over and question on trackers, so hopefully that is good.
Poplios are tomorrow.
Poplios are tomorrow? Okay, cool. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Words and feelings and things. Were there any more questions for me?
Nope.
Okay. I have a PowerPoint for you all, so this is the point where I'm gonna
stream.
Maybe.
Oh no, Ibby, don't worry, there's another community day tomorrow.
Yep.
Hold on, let me get the infographic for everyone.
Yeah, just give them the infographic. Why are you not... Oh, because I click here? There it is. I'm really worried about streaming this because stages have not liked my computer streaming. Granted, my husband's been playing that It's not stupid. It's just very violent Warhammer game. Every other time I've attempted to stream, so maybe that's the problem.
That is true.
So I guess I will give this a shot. I am so angry at Twitch right now. I'm so angry at Twitch.
We stayed up so late, and then you got up early.
Yeah. And then Twitch effed it all up for me.
Oh, you're gonna want to do all your 2 kilometer eggs today.
Yeah.
My bat's in them.
I need more eggs then. Okay. So, I really hope y'all can see this.
Loading, but that's not shocking. That usually is what it does to me.
Can you see if other people see it? I'm in the PowerPoint.
Still loading.
Why is this so cursed today? I had this absolutely awesome podcast prepared. I had caffeine. I was ready to go. My kid is being a brat right now. He will find this in 10 years and be like, geez, mom. And I'll be like, let me tell you what you did that day, kid. Then he'd be like, I did not. I'll be like, you did. And you're going to be real glad I muted that mic. Okay. Twitch went down. Discord won't stream my stuff. Blah.
Okay, we could drop the link, but everybody will race ahead. So do you just want me to drop slide by slide in the channel?
Can you please just drop it slide by slide in the channel?
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
I'm gonna stop
Saying they wouldn't mind the Scottish.
You want to be able to understand what I'm saying.
All right, I want you to explain slots without your accent.
No, because I know what slot sounds like to the American ear with a Scottish accent. I know this, so we are definitely not talking about slots with a Scottish accent. All right?
Okay, answer questions with it then.
Maybe. So 18. 18 is the answer. For male Sinakas, their average is going to start at 8, and then 5 more at alpha, and 5 more at dom, and then 5 more at alpha, for a grand total of 18, plus the normal amount of unlock 5 up to 23. No, we don't have a slot trait just yet. They're still new. We're going to want to give it a little time and space to make sure that their slot count is okay before we add something.
I do think you had the name for it.
I do have the name for it, but I can't remember what the name of it is right this moment. Dun's gonna go look it up for me.
As Lewis said, don't forget to restart audio recording. Assuming you turned it off.
We never turned it off. You got me swearing bad on this. I'm gonna need to edit this before I can give it to anybody, I think.
Oh, God damn it.
So for females, they do 558. We've decided to put them just under Maralta's. Technically also a spoiler. I've had a conversation with many people, well, not many people, but the people who get to make decisions in Tokotas, and we have decided that in January, having they've been out for a while, we don't think it'll do anything. We believe Dakinos and Tokotas will be gaining 2 more slots, just in general.
To their base.
I don't know if we're going to put them at alpha or to average, but I'm going to put them in there for their base. They can just have 2 more slots. They're very low. We did it for many reasons at the time, and now we're so far out. We're looking at all these other builds coming in, and I've gone, yeah, it's not going to hurt anything at all to give these guys more slots. It's not going to unbalance our economy, so expect in January, Tokotas and Dakinas will all just magically have 2 more. Okay, I'm probably going to put them at average for sanity purposes, but that's happening. Okay, so that's my slots. And...
Do I need to drop the next?
Yes, can you please drop the next one? So here is the getting rather large.
We're going to have to probably figure out how to...
Put these on PowerPoints going forward? Yeah.
Yeah. I am processing again.
No.
Come on, Howl, you always got my back.
No, I deny. Seriously?
Man. I don't understand either.
You still look to be online. I still look to be online.
It's like a 57 KB image.
Do you want me to try downloading and uploading it?
No, seeing. I hate this computer.
I know you do. I don't think I owe you and I told you so on it, though. I don't think I told you don't buy that. Maybe I did, but I don't think I did.
No, we looked at the specs. This was a pretty
Yeah.
good deal.
Yeah. This wasn't like your last computer. I was like, don't buy that.
I didn't buy that.
I know
and
you
that
didn't
one was
buy
amazing.
In comparison to this, yeah.
Gosh. Okay, yes, please download it and just try and upload it.
How do I download it?
Okay, go to File.
Yep.
Download PNG.
Okay, that works. Let me pop on back over here. Oh, it worked.
Are you serious? Oh my gosh.
It worked. Never mind. Build chart's there. Yay. Okay. So as you can see, our build chart is getting a little big. We have added Sinakas. Oh, we also put Makatas on there. Apparently Makatas never got a PowerPoint. I don't know why.
Because they released while we were at our writing conference.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it. So yeah, Makatas are on there and you can see what they're breedable with. And then Sinakas have been added with their Tokota, Toki, and Tokara compatibilities as well. So the big end all of this, of why we changed our mind, if you're looking at the previous breed chart, then you know that Sinakas were supposed to be breedable with Meraltas. We changed our minds, is very much what happened. We got the art from Meraltas. They are beautiful legged creatures, very popular across the game in general. I think most people like a Meralta, which I don't blame you. They're awesome. And I think a lot of people would like Sinaka too. But Meraltas came out bigger than we expected. Not a bad thing. Sinakas came out smaller than we expected. Again, not a bad thing. But for those reasons, we decided they're just not really build compatible anymore. And Meraltas do not need them, quite honestly. Between Tokos and Dyers, they're doing fine. Because they have the different levels of Dyer breeding, which adds fun complexity over there. So we decided Sinakas would move them out into the tiny. I think they were supposed to be modest up front, but now they're tiny. And we decided, why not just let them have Tokis and Tokaras as well? Doesn't hurt anything. I have the numbers for those. We'll get to them shortly. But that's why we changed our mind. It was a plan of 5 years ago, and things changed when we got here. I'm not super concerned about it. No admin I talked to seems super concerned about it, and I did float this in Gen Chat about a week or so ago, maybe a little longer, just to see if there were any negative reaction. Doesn't seem to be. I mean, if you really, really hate that, I guess come and tell us, and we'll see what we can talk about on that front, but I don't see me changing my mind. That doesn't mean that a really good argument couldn't change it, though.
Doesn't mean Miros are forever only standards Dyers anyway.
Exactly, because we have one more on this circle to do, and then we'll start talking about another circle. Yeah, I know. Tokos might be that game with like 50,000 breeds. Who knew? I knew. I always knew.
Doki, old news. Minaka, Helmo. Well, I guess we know what we're doing for April Fools.
Minaka's at least a cute name.
It is very
It's a very cute name. Okay. I think drop my next slide.
All right, I'm dropping them. Oh, those went through okay.
Those went through. Oh, okay. That's what I get for relying on that. I was like, I'll just stay over here. I didn't need to go back to the thing. Oh, hold on. I'm going to click on them. So, litter sizes. Just a reiteration of things that you already know. Sinakas will be using runner's rations, trades companions, totems that replace runner's rations will work on Sinakas. They don't have any breeding companion or consumable restrictions. So yeah, that's kind of our standard. Akota were that weird one. I know what happened there. You all can figure out what happened there. And we resolved that problem going forward. And we don't feel a need to create that problem for ourselves again. So they have everything. So Sinaka together, they make small. This is a small litter size, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
This is small litter size. This will look just like our normal small. We've kind of standardized litter sizes to small, medium, and large. So Sinaka are coming out small. Minimums will be the 1, 2, 2, and then the maximums will be 2, 2, 3, 4, depending on what you include in it. I'm not super concerned about it. This is going to look pretty standard.
Did we get rid of the Dom Slayer, Dom Dam thing? Is that just a holdover from us using the old Miro?
It probably is.
I'm gonna go look at that.
Go double check. I trusted you.
Okay. know why. It was like 2 in the morning.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. But I kind of assumed you just...
I can't load code. No, there it goes.
Okay, double check this for me.
What is happening with our internet today?
I don't know, and I don't care anymore. Just let's get this done.
I'm trying.
And I will be sunshine and rainbows and throw things at people. I'll never be finished. I'll never be sunshine and rainbows, but I will basically, for all of this stress, I'm going to keep just upping how many raffle prizes I'm giving out.
Oh, jeez, what?
Yeah. We're up to like 5 right now, quite honestly.
Jill.
What? We are. Normally I do like 2, maybe 3, but we're at 5. Possibly 6.
I can't actually get Tokota to load for me. Every time I say it's not loading, it loads.
Yeah, well, clearly it just wants to prove you wrong. Small letter size?
Okay, now we do have Dom, Sire, Dom, Dam differences still.
Okay.
I thought we talked about getting rid of that, but maybe we didn't.
Maybe we didn't. All right, so we're good there. Crossbreeding. What?
Sev said Jill's spite is such a gift to the community.
You're not wrong. You're really not wrong. My spite has created many things in tacos. I don't consider myself a very kind person. I really never have. I consider myself a pretty good person. I'm a decent human in that respect, just not a very kind one, because I know that I am spiteful. It is my sin, and I know it.
I'm just putting the question slide up now while I have internet connection.
Mm-hmm.
Carry on.
I know it. But I'm also a lazy person. A very lazy person. So I know there are many people out there like, Jill hates me. I'm like, probably not. She does these things. Probably not. You have to have truly sinned against me to make me pay enough attention to hate you.
No daddy and DA.
No daddy and DA have. They can get my spite. But I can think of a handful of people who have put up and such. And I'm just like, you giving yourself too much credit here, friend. I don't think about you. Or anything of that nature. In fact, I probably don't even remember why this was happening at the time. Okay, onward we go. So, Sinaka, litter sizes for crossbreeding. They get the medium. They've got the medium litter sizes. So when a Sinaka breeds with a Toko or a Hara or a Toki, this is the litter size that it's going to get. I don't think I double checked that in the breeding system. I may need to double check that.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's true for how it's supposed to work for crossbreeding, and we had to write in an exception specifically for Mira. But I need to double check that. Okay.
Mirrors are the ones who break the same as small litter, crossbreeding is medium litter, so.
Yes, they get their one little cool thing is that they're sames. They get medium when they do it when they're together. Okay, questions based on litter sizes. This, again, is your third breeding PowerPoint. Pass rates are next. Do not ask. Anyone typing? Oh, I see typing.
Is there base art of the Sinakas with the different main types? Oh yeah, all of them are done.
Oh yeah, they're all done. They're all completed. And the physical traits done. These are fully finished and ready to go. And honestly, so are Ardonics.
No.
What? They are. Tina and Daff were racing again.
Mm-hmm.
And then, regardless of who won the race, Sinakas were going first. So that's how that went down. But that just means I have both of them fully finished. And I'm pretty sure that Tina did all of the Odonic stuff for physical traits. So they're good to go. I just haven't done naming or set a release date on them.
They're still typing. Type.
Mm-hmm.
Or no typing.
Typing? You changed your mind?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, there's another question slide, so if they've got more questions, they'll obviously answer them when we get there. All right.
On to the pass rates.
Pass rates it is. All right. So, Sinaka, standard. 30% chance at Sinaka, standard 70%. This is the acronym that I'm currently using for Scheming Spirit. Of course, if someone else comes up with something better, I'm going to take it. And Foxy Brew brings yourself up to that 45 to 55% chance. And before anyone asks, no, Nothing is going to be the 100-100 like Tokies. That's their claim to fame.
I wish we could change that, but you guys would all probably just riot.
Probably just riot. All right, so Sinaka Standard, very, very simple, very easy.
Very standardized.
Yep. And then this is, of course, a medium litter. Next one. Sinaka. Remember, this is the small litter, and they've got a 50% chance. So 50 standard, 50 Sinaka. I think that matches Tokara, but I'd need to double check that. And obviously, you can get it up to the 65% with Scheming Spirit 2 and Foxy Brew. Next.
These are the ones you edited, so I hope they're correct.
So legitly, I found it easier to put Sinaka into the breeding roller and pull the number out of the roller than try and guess them myself. So I hope they're correct. So Sinaka Tokara, just no bonuses whatsoever. It's a 30-30 with 40% standard fallback. When you do the Scheming Spirit and the Foxy Brew, you'll get it up to the 45. You'll see that standards and Tokaras are sharing the load of what got taken from them. And then finally, when you do everything for Tokaras and everything for that, they even themselves right back out. And everything comes right out of the standard. So if you're just like, I don't want a standard, that's your best bet. If you're obviously after a Sinaka over a Tokara, then only using Scheming Spirit and Foxy Brew is the answer. Okay? So that's what those look like right there. And then pop me my Toki. My Toki actually does look a little different. So when I was doing this the first time, and I was like, this is how the numbers are supposed to work. And I checked the breeding roller using Tokara and Toki. I was like, that doesn't look the way I expected it to. At which point I remembered Tokis have a bonus multiplier. Why? Because everyone loved Tokis. And they wanted Tiny Terror Tincture to be more effective. So Toki's small stature and Tiny Terror Tincture is technically a little more effective than everyone else's stuff. So that's why the numbers look like this when we get here. That's what's happening. That's that Toki's, I think everything's like a 1.5, but Toki's are getting like a 2. That's the equivalent of what's going on there. But on the base, it's 30-30. When you put the Scheming Spirit stuff in, it all looks the same as it's supposed to be. That Toki bonus modifier only comes into play if you pull the Tiny Terror Tincture or Small Stature into the game, at which point it gets a little bit more than the other one does. So if you're just like, I desperately don't want a standard, using both gets you your best shot, but you have a higher chance at a Toki than you do at a Sinaka. Obviously, we can have conversations about we don't really like that anymore because now we have a lot more builds, but it would affect Toki standard breedings. So I'm not making any call on it right now. Please feel free to leave me some feedback on how you feel about it, and we'll go from there. I don't have skin in that game. Tokis are fine, but they're not my end-all be-all. And so I'm going to take a lot more community feedback before any sort of decision gets made there. Because I think leaving it like this is fine. And I think switching it so that Tokis don't have that preferential treatment is also fine. And we can figure it out from there. So I don't think that's going to hurt us either direction. And then finally...
Question slide?
Yep.
What main is this? It looks like a weird Oh.
You're welcome.
Jill?
You're welcome. So questions. Any Sinaka questions? Go on. Hit me with them right now. You guys, anything about the Sinaka that you want to ask?
I can't believe you put a main spoiler in here.
You're welcome. I told you. I wouldn't switch it out. She had a caribou on there. I switched to a bison. When are we getting bison? Soonish?
Jill.
I'm not sure. Like...
No, stop answering. That wasn't what I was saying.
I'm just saying. Anyone typing?
Yes, probably not answerable in this podcast, but has there been any discussion of doing a build calc like the main calc?
No, I'll just wrap myself out. So, technically, Secret did that, mixing it into the breeding code so that every time it got updated, the main calc would be automatically updated. And my time, attention, and patience has not been to try and do that for build calc. I would like us to have one. I really would like us to have one. But given that I lack secret this year, it's just on my when I can get my brain around it and get it done. I may have started the main calc, but she perfected it, and I don't have her right now to do the other part. So I will try. It's on that, and a new lineage checker is on my to-do list. It's just not prioritized at the moment because of other more game important things. But y'all know how I am at this point. At least anyone who's been here for more than a year knows how I am. Some Saturday I'm going to sit down, get angry at something, and build the build calc. What? It's true.
I mean, it is accurate.
All right, and then
I don't see any more questions so far.
All right. Well, they've been through this. They understand how this goes at this point in time, right?
True.
Like, I don't have to re-explain a bunch of stuff to everybody, and...
Everyone's just excitedly chanting bison.
Bison? Yeah. It's coming. All right.
All right, your final slide?
Yep. Throw me my final slide.
This was the spoiler I gave you because it's tradition.
Yeah.
And yet you stole so many more spoilers.
It is. This was the only one done was like, we can have this. And I was like, yeah, we can. But all those other ones. So, oh, I didn't put that on the slides, did I? Well, that's fine. I'll tell you the name of it now. So, as is tradition, we have a Sinaka UT. This is the HP bonus one. It's called Sly Sibling. And this is our pretty little Sinaka starter. Is this... Does this one have a name?
Let me pop up and totem.
Yeah, pop up and totem and tell me if this has got a name. Because so far we have...
William Nudge.
William Nudge.
Matcha. I'm opening them all. Apricity.
Apricity?
Yep.
Okay, Apricity.
And then this one does not have a name, but it needs a cat name.
But it needs a cat name, so,
Everybody is like, so just cats.
Raffle question. Oh, did I have an actual raffle question?
You did have an actual raffle question, but I guess you can do, since you're doing more prizes, do two. I care about it. I need that info.
Yeah. You just being, like, dramatic. You say that like you're not dramatic.
How dare you?
You make it an art form.
I did actually want the suggestions for that.
I like mine better.
Fine, you can do that, but I want that as a normal Discord raffle then.
Yeah, perfect. I'll put it in my most festive of all... I can't swear right now. Fridays. Next Friday.
Gosh.
Okay. So, raffle, let's go ahead and kick that off right now then. And give this starter a name. You've heard the other names. We have William, Nudge, Matcha, and Apricity. Yeah, cat names.
Whatever, Caesar.
Yeah. Hey, he came with that name, okay? I would know better than to name a cat after a tyrant.
My cats are fine.
Your cats are named after supervillains.
They're not supervillains.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, first of all, maybe Sabretooth is a villain, but he's not a supervillain. And Wanda is not a villain. I don't care what the MCU did to her.
But you named her before that happened.
Yeah.
You named her before all of that went down, and I agree, the MCU did our girl Wanda dirty. But it also did all of our girls dirty in various movies.
Mochi I didn't name.
Mochi you didn't name. And she is like just a pile of mochi that's rubber and sits there, so it holds. Okay, so I think that raffle's rolling. And that is our PowerPoint on Sinakas. You will see them start dropping tonight. All right, had this whole bullet point about new stuff. I guess, can you drop the slide?
Oh, the new items?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess this is actually working okay.
Yeah, just...
It's not as clean. Let me find...
But you... Look at you, so organized.
I am organized, thank you.
I am the opposite. Dun's got everything, like, in this folder to this folder that's dated here, here, here. And I was like, I have a downloads folder. Does that count?
There you go. It's dropped.
Okay. So moving on to the next one. we have the new drink items. You'll probably saw me that I was going around and grabbing them with all of their silly, silly names. Lots of people came out of the woodworks. So these are our new teas and cocos. And I guess chai is a tea and matcha is a tea. So yeah, it's lots of our new teas and cocos. And these are all going to be doing different things in different departments. We have Stellar Toki tea. Is that what it's called?
Stellar Sphinx.
Stellar Sphinx tea.
Which is not on the slide.
It's not on the slide, but that one will do things like...
Do you just want me to hand you this?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Okay, so Stellar Sphinx tea is going to be for adventures, and it's +1 allowed adventure per month. So it's a tea, you will craft it the exact same way you craft the other legendary coffee drinks. This one's just for adventures. It sounds like it'll be around in January, but don't quote me on that one just yet. It might be February. We have Silicino Cocoa, which CEs has picked up, and when you apply to a CE entry, the round will be rolled against all ghosts and will not count against your monthly CE limit, but there is a limit of 3 per month.
Use them for those kids who just cannot get a break.
Exactly. Oh, this one was actually me. So, Toasty Chai Hara, this is going to go to TCA Wilds. Allows the submission of 1 extra entry for a wild. Yeah, it's that powerful. Entry will be rolled at the current day's odds and will not count as another attempt to reduce odds. Cannot be used until day 6, and it's a limit of 1 per round. So you can get 1 extra roll on 1 day, but you don't count that roll towards lowering your odds in any capacity, and you still have to do the art, and you still have to spend the resources. So if you're spending treats for both days, then you need to spend the treats for both days. But that will be there. I do not know if that will be there for January. I'm gonna try.
Nobody's probably gonna be able to really get that because tea is the new item, is one of the new rares.
Oh, that's true. So I may not bother with it in January, and I'll do it in April. So that's that one, and then we have Anaku? Is that how you say it? Say it again?
Angiku.
Angiku?
Yep, Boba Blast.
Boba Blast. This is going to quests. Quests is going to allow the completion of 1 past monthly quest. Past quests must have been available in the current month, and it must be from 2019 or later to limit 1 per month. So if you are spending your Boba Blast in February, it has to be a February quest from 2019 or later. Yes, it is limited like this because around that time is when we started standardizing prizes a little bit more. Previous to that, prizes could be all over the place, and therefore we can allow you to redo past quests without basically shooting ourselves for 800 candy wrappers per month. So that's where that's at. And then finally, we have these are the assigned ones. The rest haven't been assigned yet.
There's discussions on an RE drink. Okay,
there is discussions on an RE drink, but this is not it. We have Nestoko tea. It's going to breeding. You're like, wait, what? And it will allow +1 starter breeding slot per month. So it'll work just like, is it Starbucks?
Yep, Starbucks, but starters.
But for starters. Okay, those are the ones we have planned. They will be dropping in Q1 of the year. That means it could be January, February, or March, Q1 of the year. Those are coming. There is an RE one that should be coming. The discussions are happening, and do expect in the first half of the year, so Q1, Q2, changes are coming to REs in general.
Yeah. All of these will be using the new gardening items. That's kind of why that round happened. We needed tea, cassavas for the boba, things like that, vanilla. We were just missing some key things to make food.
Yes, so now we have resolved that. And yes, these will all be craftable. I believe they're all going to be legendary. Dunn will correct me because I think at least the silly Kino Coco shouldn't be legendary. Wouldn't make any sense. Well, I guess it could. You get so many legendary crafts a month.
Yeah, we switched it so legendary monthly limits are no longer tied to.
You're right. They're just tied to specific things. Okay, so never mind. Ignore me. That should all be good. So those are our teas and cocos. Those are coming. That's one of our big initiatives for the next year is to have all of these because the other ones went over so well and they didn't break our game. I'm trying to think if there's anything else like super awesome of January I need to tell them about. There's possibly going to be a main coming. Possibly. It's in the air. It's in the air right now, and it's basically Schrodinger's main. We're gonna see if it lands or if it crashes, and we'll do that. Obviously, we dropped a new variant very recently. We dropped the Royal Razor. Oh, I should talk about that real quick. So we have made the decision that when things share a family, they're going to have the same name. So for halfies and razors, they share the same family, which is less textured.
Yep.
And when they are modified by Curly, they're going to be called Royals. So if we pick another one in there, which I think that the only one left is Crested right now, right? So if we did a Crested Curly main variant, it would be Royal Crested.
Same on More Smooth with Galas.
Exactly. Same on More Smooth with Gala.
So Gala Barb, Gala Yeti.
Exactly. That's how it's going to work. We're just going to do the one name to rule them all when it comes to doing that. Yeah, for like Devin, maybe it'll feel a little weird because it was after a very specific thing, but we're willing to live with that. Because it significantly uncomplicates the naming process for us.
We were sitting here like, should this be Regal Razor or Kingly Razor? And we're like, that just seems confusing.
It just seems confusing, so we decided we would go with this. All right, and so for me, I just have a list of systems on my list that I will be looking at in the next year for you to all be aware of. So let's go ahead and start. Are people still typing in Raffles?
Yes, but it has slowed down.
Okay, so let's go ahead and put like a 3-minute timer on Raffles.
Okay, so at the 07 mark, I will close Raffles and count it.
Okay, perfect. And then I'll talk about those other systems. In this last 3 minutes, do you guys have questions about anything we've talked about today? I know it has been an endeavor. I appreciate the 36 of you that have stuck it out with me through 2 different systems, 2 different internets, and
multiple platforms and all this jazz.
Multiple platforms and more swearing than I usually do on a Toko podcast. And I have no idea how I'm going to patch this together and put it up.
That sounds like a tonight problem.
But it's a tonight problem. So tell your friends what happened, and we will try and get it up. It won't be as pretty or as quick as usual. Most people are like, I just pop back now over there to Twitch right after they finish, and I listen. No, it's not really going to be possible today.
All right, so we got questions.
Beautiful.
Alcessia's answered this, but I'll say it out loud for everyone. Would the Quester trait work with the new T, or is that going to be too OP? We're still in discussions about it.
We are still in discussions about it.
I think Quester is old enough that most of those prizes have been designed with it in mind, but we're still going through just to make sure.
We have to audit the stuff from 2019, 2020, because I don't think Quester's older than that.
No, it's not.
So, everything else since Quester came out was made with it in mind.
Is there a drink named after Borga, such as Borgameister Brew? No, but now there will be.
There probably will be. I don't know what it does yet.
But I'm stealing that name and I'm putting it on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Totally unrelated, but curious if there's any in-game lore about why breeding 2 same builds, Sinaka Tokara, can default to a standard Toko. I get it for game mechanics, but lore.
Oh, because the Toko is the base of everything. All of these species evolved from the Tokota. They're all...
Except for Akota, because that lore happened.
Because that lore happened. With the exception of Akota. Which is why Akotas don't fall down to standards at all. But in-game, lore-wise, Tokota is the base that everything came from. So Tokota's breeding with other things, much like humans do in a fantasy setting, you end up with a bunch of half-breeds running around, and these is the much further into the future existence of them. Consider in our lore a little bit of retconning of previous. In times before, there were only Tokotas. Nothing else existed but Tokotas. And then there was this mutation that made Tokis. And then also we discovered these Dyers. And then also we discovered these Akotas. But these Dyers and these Tokos were together. Like, just ignore that. We get it. It was early game. It's not a big deal. In current lore, these species have existed for a while. None of them are brand spanking new except Akotas. We kept that. But otherwise, they're all based kind of off of a Toko. So at some point, some species and Tokos were breeding, and Sinakas became their own species out of that. That's why Tokis are no longer mutations and they have their own name.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's why.
Things like Miras, they were just Tokos, and then they did the same evolutionary pressures that made maned wolves.
Exactly. But they come from Tokos, and that's why everything can technically breed a Toko. But yes, also, it's game balance.
Yeah.
It's very much game balance. Alright, anyone else typing?
Eli got me. Tokos, crabs?
I mean,
Everything comes back to crab.
everything does come back to crab. Like, if you think about it.
Ow.
Alright.
Oh, I should have closed this thing. Okay, close. Oh my god, Kevin. Close. I love these names already.
Yeah. They're cat names, okay?
Okay, what am I rolling?
You're rolling me 6 winners. Yep.
Alright, this is going to take me a little bit to count and then get everybody, so...
Totally fine.
You're on your own for systems on the list.
Alright, systems on my list. 1 was FP. I told you about that, though. That we're going to be doing some changes to how you submit FP in the coming year. Maybe some changes to prizes along the way with that, or standardizing them in some manner. Disc had a fairly decent standardization. Ami will have to teach me it as part of our conversations, and we'll start doing that going forward. So FP. Outpost is on my list.
Are the names?
There's going to be a feedback thread for Outpost. Now, Outpost was my idea, because, well, okay. Technically, it's my idea to over. Outpost was created, Cash ran it, it was good, but it wasn't very different than everything else that was going on, because it initially existed for Tokotas, but we didn't need it for that function anymore, so I said shut it down. And we did. And then people were like, oh, but I missed Outpost. And I was like, alright, fair enough. So we brought it back, and it became the system that it is today. And I helped craft that. I'm not sure it's hitting. I'm not sure it's fun. I'm not sure it's any of the things that we really want it to be. So we're putting a feedback thread up. As always, don't be a dick about it. But, you know, give us your honest feedback. I don't feel like it's working. Maybe I'm completely wrong. It happens. There's been plenty of times I'm like, everybody will hate this. Everyone's like, what are you talking about? This is great. I'm like, oh, okay. So, you'll see a thing. Give me your feedback about Outpost. Obviously, it wasn't happening in December because everyone takes a break. So it'll come back in March, and maybe it'll come back with changes based on the feedback thread. But it's on my list of things that I actually want to look at this year and try and clean up. Second, REs is happening. Sometime here in the fairly near future, our Master of Raffles and Lord of the REs, Copper, will be stepping down and going back to the Land of Players. Another bastion on their way down to the Land of Players, but they're not leaving Tokos, they're just not going to be an admin anymore. Copper has been working on rebalancing and a lot of stuff for REs. We'll be picking up what Copper has done and trying to enact it in the coming year. So when I said changes were happening to REs, we're hoping that moving trackers on site will allow us to automate and streamline some of that stuff in REs as well. So REs may be a little slow in Q1 as we have people trained up and doing that job. But just, thanks to Copper for many, many years of work and help and always showing up. I'm going to have to find a new Master of Raffles who can handle this. Because gosh knows I can't do it. But we'll be doing all of that sort of stuff coming soon. And that means REs is officially at the top of my list. They just had it so handled that it didn't really need me unless they had specific questions. So now that they're stepping down, I will be paying more attention to it. I don't know if I'm in charge of random events right now. Maybe, maybe not. We don't want me in charge of too many things.
We've collected quite the collection right now. We've got crafting and TCA and everything.
Okay, but TCA, after I solve this outpost thing, I will hire someone specifically to handle TCA. The 3 areas of TCA can run under one manager just fine. And that's fine. And I built them a system so they don't have to do a bunch of manual stuff, so they'll be okay. They can run it. So that'll be happening. Someone else will take on the responsibilities of TCA beyond me. REs will live with me, but I'll probably have to train somebody to process them because I don't want to say I can't be trusted. I / can't be trusted, don't have time to be running a thread every week, and you guys don't deserve waiting on me. So that'll be happening. And crafting's not leaving. Crafting belongs to you. So yeah.
Oh, I'm also in charge of events again.
And you're in charge of events, but that's okay because we'll have other people working events. So we'll slowly peel off and promote and train people for those things. I'm not super worried. And finally, systems on my list for the year are TCA Academy. Like, Jill, you said so many TCA things. You've talked about wilds, you mentioned rehomes, you've talked about outposts. What does that mean? That means you're leveling, that 1 to 5 level. Earlier this year, I guess it was October, as I was dying, rolling taming, very, very many people, sometimes bribed, sometimes not, came and hung out with me while I did the work. And we were chitter-chatting about a bunch of stuff. And most people would tell me they're only trying to get to tier 5 for that bonding thing. And I went, why is the bonding 2 images at the end of this? Because TCA Academy rank 5 is a late game. You've heard me say this before. We have early, mid, and late game content. TCA rank 5 is late game content. And bonding is early game content. Bonding is one of those things we tell all new people who come in, go do the newbie quest, bond or Togo. That's a great place to start to understand how the game plays. And yes, bonding does like level up as you go through the game, but what? So a bunch of people are taming, and they don't even really care about taming. They're just trying to get their ridiculous amount of things. So that bonus will be moving. Where is it moving? I'm working on it. I intended to have a grand pitch for you today.
We had some good ideas out of the discussions that happened during the taming rolling.
Yes, we did.
One of the reasons we're typing in podcast chatters because we have to kick that stage live to go back and dig through the chat logs.
Exactly. So we're going through those things again, but that bonus will be moving very soon here from TCA Academy rank 5 into something else. We talked about a quest, but there's so much on LSSD's plate, I don't really want to do that.
She's got some big quests lined up this year.
She does, and I don't want to inflict this upon her. So I am looking for another place to slot it in somehow.
Probably will not be a totem, especially with Axolotl just dropping.
Yeah, probably won't be a totem, especially with Axolotl just dropping. I got thoughts and plans and ideas. I'll figure it out, and we'll go from there as making this a bonus that's a little more accessible. And obviously I will need to replace it, and I don't want to replace it with just lowering your odds. People's odds are already crazy low in a lot of situations by like day 8, so I don't want to do that. I will find something though, and I don't want to just steal team player because, you know, that's a whole tribe's thing. And you can already collab, so So I'm working on it. You'll probably find me hunting around the rest of this week.
In Gen Chat.
In Gen Chat. For suggestions. Right? So that's where those are standing. Those are things that are actively on my list in the coming year. If I didn't say it, it doesn't mean that I won't look at it. It just means that these are the things that actively have my attention right now. And I will work on making them cleaner, easier for our ever-growing game. Because y'all didn't go away this year, and I mean that in a nice way. We noticed it last year where we weren't having drop-off, where we usually expect major drop-offs, and we don't know if that's because our player base got older, it might have, or if it's just more fun, so people are sticking around, which is both good. Both are good.
We used to be very tied into the school year system, but does not seem to be holding anymore.
No, which leads me to believe that a lot of our player base has graduated. And I'm not complaining. That's all good. We're still very welcoming to, 13 and up, right? For when we're allowed to collect your email so you can create an account, you are welcome. So, That's where we're going right now. And one last thing, and then I'll announce the raffle winners. This year, we are committed to our Discord in a lot of ways. Again, we said we wanted to make more interactive, and we felt we did okay last year. We're going to try and do more in this coming year. Our various feedback channels have been successful. We believe that the attitude in chat is mostly positive, and we're happy for that. And we're going to commit to keeping it that way in the coming year. We don't want to be a place that comes in and it's a salt bomb, right? A complaint every now and then is fine. Nobody is slapping your hand for having a complaint. That's not happening here. And if it is, I'm very confused why. We just don't want, constant negative dragging on something for hours at a time. This is a happy, safe space. And with all the chaos going on in the world in general, we want to commit to keeping this as a happy, safe place that people can come and talk about their wolf bear dog enthusiasm. And there's usually something here that's going to make your day just a little bit better. So we're committing to that in 2025, to keeping our good area like that safe. The rules revamp that we did, I believe, helped that. We've been enforcing them this year. Yeah, that does mean that people got thrown out of our Discord this year. Actually, more people got thrown out of our Discord this year than in previous years because we were enforcing these rules better. And I think it has helped. If you have a different experience than that, I do want to hear about it. That if our Discord is just not a welcoming place, everyone butts heads. So like if you and one person butted head for a day, it doesn't necessarily mean our Discord's a bad place. But like if you're having a consistently bad experience, then that's something that I want to know about. I don't know if I'll put a feedback thread because we don't do call outs. That's not how this works. But if it's enough that it's still in your brain, then you can contact me about it. But of course, if you're contacting me to complain about people, keep it respectful. All right? I don't want to hear she's a bitch. That's not going to fly. But if you want to be like, hey, I'm having this issue and I cannot get integrated in because it seems to be this thing, then come and talk to me. Half the time it's going to be a miscommunication. Okay? So that was my last thing.
You do have some questions, but I also gave you the list of winners, and I'm still working on getting them into their banks because I had to add abandoned Sinakas into the Tokopedia system.
Yep. Well, look at that. Done spoiling things.
Wait, what?
I didn't tell them it was abandoned Sinakas.
I thought you said that earlier.
No. You did it! Alright, so, our winners of the raffle, and then I'll get your questions. Congratulations to Altica, Scry, Eli, Sayre, Darkheart, and Ace.
Sorrows.
Oh, Darkheart Sorrows. Sorry, Darkheart Sorrows, not Darkheart Sayre. Darkheart Sorrows. And Ace. Yeah, my bad. My bad.
I'll go ping everybody as soon as I'll ping everybody in.
Yep.
The thing.
You are getting an abandoned Sinaka. You will be able to put it in on January Open.
I can't believe.
It was you, not me. I didn't do it. I was going to tell them in a moment, and then you just said it so casually.
God dang it.
Yep.
I'm just going to post some podcast raffles because there's a raffle going on right now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So, that happened, and then,
I'm leaving you in charge of your questions while I handle this.
Oh, I'm in charge of my own questions. I get to read my own questions? Ooh, okay. She doesn't let me.
I mean, I can if you want me to just...
Mono!
Go rest with love. 5. I rolled 6, right? Yes, 6.
Okay, check marks means it's answered, right?
Yes.
Will we have to re-unlock it? No. Why? Ew. Sorry. In regards to TCA rank 5, will we have to re-unlock it? No. What? Hells no. That's never happening. Why would I do that? That's just unnaturally cruel to everybody involved. I don't want to recount how many tamings that is. You don't want to redo that many tamings. And the bonus is probably not going to be super better than bonding two images, so no. Okay? Yeah. Apologies. That ew was in the whole concept of having to do that, not you. Is there going to be a place where I can re-listen to this? I ask because I had to step out of listening and I feel like someone else catching up to ask someone else. It will be okay, so our amalgamation of between Twitch and Discord will be like forced together and then put on YouTube. And the links to that will be in announcement channel when it gets uploaded.
It just might take us a little bit longer than our normal video on demand because we'll have to do video editing, which we're not great at.
Yeah. So
which is why these never have video.
Yes, that's why they never have video. And Fen has just clarified their question. I'm going to get to it in a moment. So this will be on YouTube. We post the links to it. You'll be able to get to it. This one's just going to take us longer. Normally what happens is we finish, is Lua takes her recording, and by the end of the day, it's up for everybody to listen to. Plus, there's the video on demand on Twitch. Obviously, none of that is true today.
There's the video on demand for the first half of this.
Right.
Maybe.
But, for the other side of it, once we get it put together, which is not going to happen until I get back from a Christmas party tonight, I'm not going to look at it. Maybe Dad will get to it before then, and then we'll get it up on YouTube. But it'll be on YouTube for you. Suggestion, maybe move it to a lower, I assume this is everyone talking about bonding right now, moving it to a lower rank. Maybe I'd have to reshuffle the bonuses that are on those ranks, and I don't know really.
We're kind of looking at...
I'm looking at somewhat of an overhaul in general.
We want TCA rank to apply to the other two, but we need to know what Outpost is doing before we can do that.
Exactly. So, nice suggestion. Maybe is as good as I got, because if I moved it lower, I would move everything that it replaced up, and I don't know if people are going to like that. So we'll see. But thank you for the suggestion all the same. And then Fen goes, to clarify, because I did not understand their question, they meant the bonding with 2 unlock, just because it was the primary reason I put up with a lot of TCA rank. Yeah, I heard that a lot. Maybe, depending on what we decide it goes behind. But I don't think I want to force everyone to re-unlock it.
I was pretty sure we said no because we were having the discussion during taming, and
I went, ooh, no, probably.
Yeah.
So,
and then you were like, wait, Painted Dog didn't unlock for everybody?
Yeah, I was like, what? Painted Dog was supposed to unlock for those people.
So we need to stop and look at that. Let me go put that on the December list. Fuck, this never ends.
Please and thank you. The answer, I said maybe, but I'm going to correct myself to probably not. Wherever I end up putting it, it's going to have to... There would need to be more going on than you're just getting this bonus for me to say that anybody had to re-unlock it. And even then, you would have a grace period. So the answer is probably not. Okay. Okay, and like that. Will the Sinaka starters be in the starter pool come Jan, or will there be a cooldown? Whatever I've previously done is what I will do, and I need to go and check that. I think there's usually a little bit of a cooldown.
It's usually 3 months, but that may not hold for Snowfall. I need to double check. Because December's a dead month anyway.
Because December's a dead month. Yeah, but Sinakas are coming out with like a week to January, so it doesn't really count as a month.
Yeah.
Nobody could have bred for them in December anyway.
Yeah.
So let me check what I've previously done, and that's what I will do. If I've held them, I'll hold them.
They'll come, that info will be announced with the Sinaka release probably tonight.
Exactly. Worst case, open. Open news. Okay. Oh, I'll look at you marking stuff now.
I did my thing. Everybody's got their bandos in the ranks.
Do you want to take over reading questions, or do you want me to keep going?
No, I mean, I can. So you can get a break and take a drink, because it seems like you need one.
I do.
Kind of relevant question about taming bonding. Will there ever be uses for extra TCO auto rank ups? I somehow forgot I already had one and ended up buying 2 extra of them over years of USD sales that act as paper weights in my bank now. I think for the sale, didn't we just have them note us?
My dear. My sweet, sweet dear. No. But howl us. one of two things will happen. We will find you someone who will buy it for the exact same price that you paid for it. 2, we'll refund you tokens for the next year.
Or swap it out for things. If
Or-
it was this, I think we swapped it out for things for this year's sale.
We did swap it out, but I also gave them the option. I could
Yeah.
give them their tokens back. They could sell it, or we could swap it out. Like, we did that. So send us a howl. We will help you take care of this paperweight problem. But no, we won't have any further uses for it. That's why it was limited to 1.
Okay.
Mhm.
Are there any Sinakas planned for gold tier starters? I think we need to pick their base tier still.
I need to pick their base tier. Once I pick their base tier, I'll know. I suspect that I will have some silver, gold, and platinum happening here. Because one of them's UT, so it'll definitely be platinum. But based on looking at markings and mains and things of the starters I've seen, I suspect I'm going to have some silver and some gold tier as well. I don't think I'll have bronze, but you never know. Oh, yeah, I do have one more thing for you, even though I was trying to wrap up here. Give me a moment. I totally have this.
If you're looking for a spoiler, you could just, not. I already did.
I know you already did, but I did have one more spoiler. It's just that my lack of Twitch kind of wrecked it for me. So now I go and find it. Oh, actually, I have 2 more spoilers.
Oh my god, Eli, look at this. Jill, can we have this for an April Fool's companion?
Is that a fox crab or a toko crab? It's a toko crab. Toko crab. It needs cheek fluff.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
But
look at it.
I mean, there's a possibility of doing something with that if it gets cheek fluff. I'm saying.
Eli, you heard. Oops, oh no, goodbye. Compressed air.
Well, okay then.
Oh my god.
So, words that have sense and meaning. If you go and head over to podcast feedback, I have dropped a nice little.
Did I say you not to?
Yeah, you
Say
did, but
you
I
not
didn't.
to.
I did it anyway. I used your template and everything. So here's the Sinaka starters that are coming out, so you can get your eyes on them. As you can see, I said some are probably going to be gold, some are probably going to be silver, and there's a royal razor there, Makata as well. And then
Incorrigible.
I am incorrigible and unstoppable, like the song.
Since you put it there. Nudge is the best starter and is the one at the top center with the cutest name.
Oh yeah, that's Nudge. All right, last spoiler.
Oi!
Well, probably not of the year. I am who I am, but keep your eyes out because we will have some Odonics coming down the line. I don't know if Timeless Draft is timeless. Was it Timeless Draft?
That was the working name. Maybe it'll change.
Yeah,
but we have the art. Also, I can't believe you spoiled this. Also, you never accented them.
I didn't. I got my rage under control. Okay, I'm very good at that. I have it and I control it. I know this about me. But yeah, some little Odonix spoilers. When is Odonix coming out? Not January.
Cheek fluff. Oh,
see, cheek fluff. Boom! Now we can do something with it. It kind of looks like Wolverine. I don't know why. They just... I looked at it and I thought of Wolverine. So... Okay. I have now been talking for 2.5 straight hours. I have yet to have breakfast. Lots of love to you all.
Oh, we have community day in 27 minutes.
Yeah, we have community day in 27 minutes, and I need to put on, like, a new shirt and consume food and get my child ready. So, lots of love to everybody. Thank you for joining us for the end of year summary. It's been an incredible year. Next year will be an incredible one, too. You were supposed to tell them about TokoCon. We're not doing a physical TokoCon this year. We're not doing a physical TokoCon this year. It's not happening. We may do a virtual TokoCon. I have to figure out how the heck that works. And then we'll aim it for May, maybe, or June. At anniversary. Oh, yeah, anniversary makes sense. So we'd aim it for June around anniversary. It will be a virtual con. Yes, you will allowed to be on your camera. Yes, I'll have panels. Of course, I will have raffle things. And maybe we'll make a new shirt. But that's the best you can expect this year.
Can we have IPAC but with the Matrix glasses and like the black background with green text?
Why?
Because it's a virtual con.
Oh, yeah. Actually, we can. Now that you've explained that, I agree with your reasoning. So have a great weekend, everybody. And we will talk to you later. Bye.
Ooh. Oh, that devolved into